Hello, everyone. You are welcome to Pious Football. It's been a while, but I'm back. It took me a while to get back on camera. But today, I want to look at Ruben Amorim's interview. Of course, he was officially unveiled by Manchester United last week. So this video is about highlighting the stuff that he spoke about, and of course, then putting into perspective the expectations of the fans. So I think the best way to analyze this whole thing is to do a SWOT analysis. So I'm going to go straight to the point by talking about first the strengths of the new manager, and of course what the fans are supposed to expect from him. If you look at what he spoke about, one of the key things I took away from it is the fact that he was very passionate about imprinting a notable identity that works. Okay, I'm going to emphasize on this: an identity that works. It has to work. If there's an identity and it's not working, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so he spoke about the fact that he needs to buy time by getting results. Okay, it's very, very, very important. Whatever you are doing, we must see that it's going to work, and then we'll give you more time to improve. So if Eric Ten Hag is not improving and getting bad results, why should we maintain him, right? It doesn't make any sense. And that is what Ruben Amorim said, that yes, from day one in training, I'm going to start imprinting this identity. I'll come back to the identity very soon. But he said that, in getting this identity, we need to also get results. Okay, so we must buy time by getting good results. And that for me, I was very impressed by that. Okay, because you cannot come in, excuse me, you cannot come in as a Manchester United manager, and then you are playing, you are not winning games, and then you want us to give you time. It's not going to work. You're not going to get the fans to be behind you. So for me, I think that one of the strengths of Ruben Amorim is the fact that he seems to have a clear plan. Okay, he has a clear plan, a clear identity, and the identity you are talking about here is about the fact that if you look at the structure and the fluidity of it, okay, it's very, very good. He plays a three-back system, and of course, but going back to his early days as a manager in Casapia in the second division in Portugal, he was using a four-back system. It didn't work for him. He switched to a three-back and he started winning. So ever since then, he's maintained that three-back system. So although he has a very solid structure in a three-back system, which personally is not something that I really like, but of course, if it's working for him, why not? And then it seems to be a very, very fluid with this three-back system. If you look at sort of how he advances his games, how he plays, how he advances players in during games. Okay, there's a bit of fluidity in there, very, very quick movement in and around the opposition box going forward. And I think that system, that fluidity, and that structure is going to be imprinted, and that is going to be part of the identity, of course. But the playing style here at Manchester United under Ruben Amorim, I'm thinking will be the same as we've seen at Sporting Lisbon, except that at United, we are not going to get the same intensity immediately. It's going to come with time, okay? But he spoke about identity, and in that identity, he spoke about structure and fluidity of the formation. He spoke about the intensity of play, and then he spoke about pressing high. Of course, pressing high, I think personally comes under intensity. Okay, so pressing very well, pressing as a team. He spoke about teamwork, and that when the teamwork is good, the individual brilliance will come through. So I think that if you look at the strengths of Ruben Amorim in terms of tactical play. You're looking at structure and fluidity. You're looking at intensity. You're looking at playing as a team in terms of pressing and then creating a lot of chances. So hopefully we can see this in the first game against Ipswich Town this weekend. So that is the first one. The second thing I want to talk about is the fact that we have very pacey wing backs. Okay, we have pacey wing backs who I believe under his system are going to be very useful to him. If you look at Nozer Mazraoui, if you look at Diogo Dalot, you realize that these guys are going to be they're going to be very busy under Amorim because of their ability to go forward. Very, very good attacking players, defensively at defensive players who are good going forward. And so in the wing back position, I'm looking at Dalot and Mazraoui being very, very active in that system. And then because of the pacey nature of this wingers, when we are playing against a team that plays deploying a low block, that is when they are defending very deep. Okay, we are going to one of the things I've realized in analyzing Amorim, in his games that are sporting, is that when he's playing against a team that is has deployed a low block, he tends to use the wing backs as decoys. Most of the time, he will use the wing backs as decoys and then try to pull some of the midfield, the defensive midfielder, and probably a defender or two to the wide areas because they want to cover up, you know, block the wing backs from having access. Okay, but what that does is that it creates space in the middle, and then if you have a team that is good, very well, that is very good at passing the ball, you can advance the ball centrally. Okay, and exploit the half spaces in the opponent's, in the middle of the pitch at the opponent's box. Okay, so you exploit half spaces in the middle by making using the wing backs as a decoy. It's something that he's worked. He's actually used several times. When you watch sporting games, you see some of these things very clearly. The wing backs are used as decoys, so that is one of the ways you can use the wing backs in like against a team that is deploying a low block. Now, if the team is playing a high line, if the team has deployed a high line, in most cases, teams that deploy high lines are teams that are good on the ball. They are good at possessing the ball. Now, if that happens, most of the time, you realize that the defensive midfielder, and in this case, Ugarte, would come very deep and join the defense and then push the wing backs way up. Okay, so the wing backs will now become like offensive wingers, and then you realize that there's going to be a long ball played to the wing backs to try and exploit the huge gap left behind the defenders and the goalkeeper because of the high line that the team is deploying. So that is the one of the ways that I think the strength of the three back system and how I think Ruben Amorim can exploit opposition. Looking at how he plays at Sporting Lisbon, if he's going to deploy the same strategy at Manchester United, these are some of the things we can expect from the new manager. So that is it about the strengths in there. Now, in terms of the weaknesses of Ruben Amorim's tactics. Now, if you realize that he spoke about intensity. Now, the first thing that came to me when I heard intensity is this manager is in for a big deal because United players are not known for intensity, and so it's going to be a real challenge to try and make the players play with a lot of energy. Of course, we saw a bit of that intensity under Ruud van Nistelrooy. I will speak about that very soon, but it is not at the level that you see the aggressiveness with which the Sporting Lisbon players are pressed. When they are trying to get the ball back is serious. And I think that, of course, we saw a bit of that in our last Premier League game against Leicester City before the international break, where Ugarte and Casemiro were very, very, very good with that high pressing, intense pressing in midfield against Leicester City. So I think we could see imprints of that. So we'll see how maybe it will continue, maybe it will not. Hopefully it does continue. Now, the weakness I'm seeing here is that the intensity is going to be a challenge. And then also, if you look at how Ruben Amorim plays in terms of, let's say we are playing against a team that is deploying a low block and you're using the wing backs as decoys. Now you have space in your midfield, you're trying to advance the ball, exploit the half spaces. But here is the case that, we have players who are very notable for losing balls cheaply. Okay, they lose balls cheaply in dangerous positions that could quickly turn into counter attacks. So the way I see it, I think that it is something that we need to work on. That we can lose the ball in very, very dangerous situations that could harm us. So our ball playing ability of our midfielders would have to be improved drastically for this sort of football under Amorim to work. And that is one of the weaknesses I see, coming through under the Amorim system. Now, what are the opportunities available? Now, in terms of opportunities, we have a relatively young squad. So I mean, we have one of the youngest squads in the Premier League, to be honest. So I think that going forward, in terms of trying to imprint an identity where we press collectively as a team and we are very intensive in terms of how we play, increasing the intensity of the team. We have a young squad, and with a young squad, you can easily bring that character of playing intensive football, and so that is one of the opportunities available. A young squad means that printing an identity of intensity is something that is possible. Now, ball playing centre backs. Okay, one of the opportunities is that we have very good ball playing centre backs. If you look at one of the reasons why the previous manager, Eric Ten Hag, brought in the Argentine defender, what his name, Lisandro Martinez, is his ability to play from the back, and we've seen that ability being used by him in at Manchester United. He's the same reason why he brought Matthias de Ligt from Bayern Munich, his ball playing abilities. The same reason why we bought Lenny Euro from from Lille last season. One of the reasons is his ball playing abilities. Okay, and so if you look at our central defense, even Harry Maguire, who is been noted for not being a really good defender, which quite arguable anyway. But even Maguire, who has issues with defending sometimes, kind of flourishes in a three-back system. We've always complained why he sucks at Manchester United, but then when he goes to the England camp, he's always doing well. And it's one of the reasons is the three-back system is very fluid, very mobile. It gives him space to be able to express himself. So, and of course, Maguire is someone who is very, very good on the ball. So, I think that Maguire could actually excel under this system with Ruben Amorim. And so, to be honest with you, I think one of our opportunities available for the manager to exploit is the fact that we have very good ball playing centre backs. Even if you look at this guy, the Swedish defender Victor Lindelof, who unfortunately got injured on international break, who will assess the injury and see how it goes. But even he is also very good with playing from the back. So I don't think that is going to be a problem playing the three back system at Manchester United. Now also Amorim, one of the opportunities available is the fact that Amorim, to be honest with you, is a very good tactician. Is a very good manager, and also has a very good man management abilities. I mean, we've seen his charisma when he was leaving Sporting. Everybody loved him. The players spoke highly of him. And then he has the highest winning percentage in the whole of Europe, 71%. No manager has more winning percentage per game, than Ruben Amorim. So, I mean, I think that the opportunities available is that he's a very good manager. He's going to do great if everything works well for him. And then he has a lot of charisma and man management skills that will be very, very influential, especially with a Manchester United team that I think are a bit too soft in terms of mentality. They need an arm around them most of the time, So I think that could come in handy, and so hence I classify that as an opportunity and something that we should expect as fans of Manchester United. Now, of course, one of the threats, the key threats, that I see for Ruben Amorim in this system is the fact that the team has a very poor team mentality. Okay, we have a very poor team mentality in terms of poor team culture. Okay, there is a lack of ambition. I feel personally, it's something I get is that there's a lack of ambition from the players. And then one of the key highlights, or the player that epitomizes this issue that I'm talking about, is Marcus Rashford. To be honest, he's close to 27 years of age. He had the worst performance, in his career last season. He started so poorly this season, and then we have this international break where you could actually use it to recoup some lost time by burying his head down, trying this, set pieces, shooting, improving his shooting drills, building on his confidence, and all that. So for me personally, I think that there's a general lack of ambition at the club. So I think there is a culture at the club where people are used to not winning, and I think that is one of the main challenges that one of the main threats that the new manager will have to deal with. Another issue will be if we get a poor start. If we get a poor start, it's going to put pressure on the manager. Like I said, he spoke in an interview and said that he will buy time by winning games. Okay, the only way you can buy time for yourself to improve is by getting decent results. Now, if the decent results don't come, then you are going to find yourself wanting, because people are going to start questioning you. The media in the UK are crazy when it comes to Manchester United. They are obsessed with the club. And so, I mean, if you're a manager and you are not performing, pretty much you are going to be under pressure 24/7, and it's not going to help in anything that you are going to do. So I mean, I think a poor start is a huge threat to the new management under Amorim. So we'll see how that goes. Now, also, poor transfers can hamper the progress of the team. And of course, one of the things I want to say is that if you look at the transfers under Eric Ten Hag, he brought in a lot of Ajax players and players that he thought could help him, but they didn't help much. Okay, if you look at the players he brought in, the only notable name I can mention as a hit for him probably would be Lisandro Martinez, but most times he was probably injured, so we didn't see much from him after the first season. So I think that going forward, you have to be very careful about bringing in sporting players. There are already rumors about Giovanni Quenda. I'll speak about him in another video. The left back at Sporting, 18 years of age. He has a buyout clause of 85 million. And then United are speaking with Sporting about him. Of course, there are issues about bringing in Victor Jokeres, but I mean, he has clearly said he's not coming in January. And of course, Ruben Amorim in the interview said that he's not looking to raid Sporting Lisbon for any player in the winter transfer window. So hopefully, maybe in the summer we'll see how it goes. But you have to be very careful about the transfers. They are very, very crucial to the project. And of course, it's a huge threat if we bring in the wrong players, because that is clearly going to be it's actually the main threat for this new management, to be honest. And so we have to get our transfers right. And of course, most of the time when we talk about transfers, we talk about the incomings, but the outgoings are also equally important. The players that you are going to let go. I know Anthony and then Christian Eriksen are some of the players that you are looking to move on. Anthony's agent has said that the player is not going anywhere. I hope that he is able to find form and do well under the system that Amorim is deploying. But I don't know how it's going to work in a three-back system. So we'll see how it goes. So basically, these are some of the ideas that are moving in my head in terms of what I think Amorim is going to, we can expect from the new manager in terms of what he has said, and then in his interviews and what we have seen him play, at Sporting Lisbon. So thank you so much for staying with me. I have some talking points I'll bring to you. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Thank you so much for staying with me. Bye.